If your child is receiving Section 504 services or may be receiving them in the future, here are a few common sense things parents might do to help the process work better. These ideas are suggestions only and are not legal requirements. You are encouraged to develop an understanding of Section 504 rights and responsibilities. In-depth information is available through the Utah Parent Center website. To request a 504 plan, contact the school district. Every school district or charter school may have slightly different procedures for implementing Section 504. Each school district and each school or charter school has a Section 504 coordinator who is assigned to make sure Section 504 is implemented. You can ask who has this assignment. Making your request in writing provides documentation that you made the request. Written informed parent consent is required before an initial evaluation for Section 504 eligibility. No formalized testing is required unless the team determines that it is necessary. No formal medical diagnosis is required unless the district determines that it is necessary in a specific case. The team determines what and the amount of information it needs. They do this by first conducting a data review to see what information they already have and what other information they still need. The evaluation must include information from a variety of sources sufficient to determine the presence of a disability. The team will document and demonstrate that it has carefully considered each piece of information it used. Parents can share information that they have, and school records are an important source of information. Ask about when the team meeting will be held and ask to be invited. It is possible for schools to have a meeting without parents, but schools are generally happy to have parents at the table. The meeting should be set up at a time convenient for both the parents and the school. Parents should prepare for the meeting to develop the Section 504 plan so they can give the best input possible. Review any records you have on your child, including notes about concerns, previous plans, etc. Start by listing some of your students' strengths. Make a list of the learning differences that need to be compensated for. Make notes and be prepared to describe how these learning differences affect the student in the classroom. Lastly, make a list of what accommodations you can think of that would help the student succeed. Making copies of your list and sharing it with the team can be very helpful. Go to the meeting prepared to give your input as well as to listen to the input of the school personnel who may also have great ideas about accommodations. If the team does not know your child well, make sure that you share some information about your child's personality, interests, struggles, medical concerns, and so on. This will help to make sure the plan is personalized to your child and not just a stock plan. Having the student participate in or even lead the Section 504 meeting when appropriate is an excellent practice. Preparation of the student is key to successful participation. Both parents and teachers can help the student to prepare for the 504 meeting. Help the student to consider his or her strengths and learning differences and how the differences affect the student in the classroom. Then, have the student consider what is working and what accommodations are needed to help the student access the curriculum. Before the meeting, help the student role play and practice sharing the information. Include the student in developing the 504 plan whenever appropriate. The plan should be a three-way agreement between parents, the student, and teachers. Students who have considered their own needs and helped determine accommodations they will use are much more likely to believe that the accommodations will work and to use them. Best practice is to have the Section 504 plan written, and while this is not required, you could encourage the team to develop a written plan. In Utah, districts receive guidance that includes writing an explicit Section 504 accommodation plan, so most do write them at a meeting with parents. As the plan is being written, make sure that all the accommodations in the plan are written clearly so that anyone reading the plan can understand exactly what needs to be done. For example, instead of writing, "Provide preferential seating," you could write, "Student will sit on the front row of the classroom where he has good eye contact with the teacher." Instead of writing assistive technology, name the specific technology such as use a screen reader and the specific settings where it will be used. Parents have a right to a copy of the 504 plan, so make sure to ask for your copy and keep it where you can refer to it during the year. You may wish to take it to parent-teacher conferences. You may also wish to share the plan with doctors and other medical professionals to help them understand what is happening at school. Make sure that all staff who need to know receive copies of the 504 plan, including substitute teachers, playground monitors, bus drivers, school counselors, and others who may interact with the student. Remember that if staff members do not know what is in the plan, there isn't much chance that they will provide the needed supports. Parents can ask if they have received a copy or even provide a copy to those who need it. Sometimes schools don't share plans because of misunderstandings about confidentiality requirements. Make it clear that you want those who need the information to have it. Ask who at the school will be responsible to get the plan to the school staff, and also by what date you can expect this to happen. If training is required for the plan to be implemented, be sure a specific person is assigned to follow through. The plan should state what special services the student will receive, when and where they will be used, and the name of the person who is responsible for each service. Follow up after the team meeting to see how things are going. Ask your child if he or she is receiving the services. Check with the responsible staff members about how it is going. If appropriate, you could include a plan for communicating with teachers as the plan is being implemented. The plan should be updated and reviewed once a year. It is important that the plan reflect your child's current situation and needs. If the school doesn't contact you to set up a review meeting, be sure to ask. You may also meet more than once per year if the situation changes and the plan needs to be modified. Communicate with school personnel and work collaboratively with them to resolve any concerns you have. If you have a complaint about your child's Section 504 services that you haven't been able to resolve with the staff who are providing the services, it is usually best to contact the principal or the building Section 504 coordinator first. If you are not successful, contact the district's Section 504 coordinator. In cases where issues cannot be resolved within the school district, parents have the option to file a complaint with the Section 504 monitoring officer at the Utah State Office of Education, Educational Equity Department. As a last resort, a formal complaint can be made to the Office of Civil Rights Regional Office in Denver. The Office of Civil Rights will then make a formal investigation. For more support at any point in the problem-solving process, you may contact the Utah Parent Center and speak with one of our parent consultants.